Rajiv was, I called him and I said, are you in town on the 9th? And his things, I think 90% I'm in town. So I said, Rajiv, I'm launching an album and I'd like you to be the guest of honor. And truly, it took him no more than 2 seconds to say, Vijay, I would love to do that. And thank you so much, Rajiv. I know what a busy man you are and how many projects you're involved in, and I really, really appreciate that. And the reason I wanted Rajiv to be the guest of honor today is, one, because of his association with my family. Two, because of his, obviously when he spoke, you knew his musical involvement and understanding of not just Carnatic music, but music from around the world. And three, his ability to convey a message. I mean, we've seen it in all of his movies about how brilliantly he conveys messages. And as we saw today, he's just a wonderful speaker. Thank you so much, Rajiv, again. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. Now, to talk a little bit about this journey, Malabar to Morocco, this journey really has 3 parts to it. The first part being my 24-year-old son and his friends, who would always come home, listen to me practice, and say, oh auntie, it's so nice. And when I say practice, when I'm practicing traditional classical Carnatic music at home. So I would tell these children, why don't you come to a kacheri? Oh no auntie, I can't do that. It's not for me, it's not my scene. And then I realized music, Carnatic music is entrenched in every South Indian. We hear it from the minute we are born. Some of us may not have learnt it formally. Some of us may have learnt it, but we all grow up with it all around us, starting with our mothers singing a lullaby to us, or hearing the Vishnu Sahasranamam in our homes every morning. It's just such an integral part of an Indian's life. Classical music, I don't want to get too specific and say just Carnatic music, both Hindustani and Carnatic music. It's such an integral part of our lives that people don't realize. What happens is these children have never gone to concerts. They just assume because their uncles, aunts, their grandparents and their parents go to these concerts, it's not a cool place for them to hang out. It's not a cool place for them to be seen in. But you play good music to them in any format. It doesn't matter whether it's traditional classical or whether it's film music, which has a strong base of classical in it. They all start tapping their toes. So I said, the only way to get them excited is to present something to them in a different package. I can't go learn something new for them now, because that's not what I was trained to do. But I said I can certainly learn to package it differently. And which is what Malabar to Morocco, that was the basis for this whole album. To reach out to that 20-something generation, to tell them Carnatic music is cool, Carnatic music is okay, it can be fun, and you guys can listen to it. I hope they find it fun now. And the second reason for doing this is my own travels all over the world performing. I've always walked into these various countries, walked along the markets and the roads and listened to their traditional music, and I've always been inspired by it. And I would come back and try these sounds on the violin and say, there must be a way to put all of this together, because music is music and it sounds so nice. So that was the second part of it. And the third reason was, my friends and my husband pushing me into and telling me, you can do something different, you need to do something different. And it was their support and belief that I could do something different that sort of came about this album. And there are some very dear friends of mine who were instrumental in taking me to meet my first composer, Gopi Sundar, and my other composer, Shalin Sharma, who was on stage with me. Shalin and I, again, have been friends for over 25 years. We've always talked about doing something together, but until Malabar to Morocco, nothing ever really happened. So Malabar to Morocco was a journey for Shalin and I as well.
I got a chance to assist on my first job, and it was for director Hariharan, and he was doing a documentary on Professor T. N. Krishnan. And the first time I went in as an assistant, I was doing everything like, you're like the fifth assistant, so you got to do everything like serving tea, putting the clap, writing, so are you on direction department, are you on camera? You're on every department. So you're the runner on the unit. I was delighted, and suddenly in that shoot there was this big camera which we were trying out for something called the Steady Cam, and it wasn't working. And the gentleman who had come with the camera wasn't well. So for the first time in my life, I put this camera on my chest, and the monitor wasn't working, and I was shooting blind. And the first person I shot in my life with my thing was Professor T. N. Krishnan. And that day, Vijay was playing the violin with her. So it's like life has come a full circle, and now I'm seeing Vijay's documentary. But fortunately, Vijay's documentary is in focus and it looks great, and whoever shot it has done a fantastic job. Unlike the one which we shot, where the camera wasn't, there was no monitor working, and we were like shooting blind, hoping that something will happen. So 25 years down the line, filmmaking has improved. I think aesthetics of the way the image is created is also improved. But Carnatic music, where is it, is the question. So if you were to do conventional Carnatic music, you get a chance to play during those 14-15 days during December, and the rest of the time you have to go and hope for Cleveland Aradhana and some temple festival here. So music has to change and evolve, and I think it's a great thing that music is evolving and changing, because it's wrong on our part to ever imagine that music, as in Carnatic music, was like this always.